Okay, looks like we are live here. I've got my trucker hat on and my sports coat on so you know it's on. And we're going to be talking about 3PL and how we it empowers right now in this current situation. I'm going to try to make this easy as possible for you not to fall asleep and take in all the good information that I have. My name is Ronaldo Valentine and I am an agency owner with Global Trans. And Global Trans is a billion-dollar 3PL technology company, and their technology, their proprietary technology, allows you to leverage all of the prestigious carriers, all the LTL and FTL carriers throughout the nation, and save a ton of money on your freight, also optimizing your freight and logistics and supply chain. So let's jump right into it. So, what I have here is some information on just how a 3PL could empower shippers, especially right now, while things are so crazy and capacity is so limited. Um, so, as you see right there on the screen, we're going to talk about three topics: state of the LTL market, how a 3PL helps shippers manage LTL, and the benefits you gain by using a 3PL. Sometimes, you call up, I call up a company and they tell me, hey, I'm using the carrier directly. But there is some, there not just some, there's a lot of money that could be saved by using a 3PL, not only on GNA, but also on just the freight and saving on backhaul and inbound freight, outbound freight. There is so much of this, what I call ghost expenses that you will never see, especially those solution companies that use a bunch of different manufacturers who handle the freight for them. There's a lot of ghost costing in there that you will never see, and of course, you pass it on to your customers, and they will never know, right? But it is actually a great opportunity for you as a business to create a profit center or just have the type of capacity and be able to pass on savings to your customers, and also just benefit from leveraging all of these prestigious carriers, especially in a market like this one. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So the state of the LTL market. Let's look at the state of the LTL market today. And I'm looking at my notes here. So there's pure disruption, right? The market is completely disrupted. Um, it's been like that for over a year now. We have COVID-19 playing a big role as part of that. And the LTL and FTL sector is at capacity. So for shippers, it is good for you to understand what's impacting the LTL market and how it affects traditional approaches to LTL transportation management. And it is critical for maintaining your supply chain and the sort of efficiency that you had a couple years ago, and pricing that you had a couple years ago. So if you're not paying attention to that, it's going to creep up to you and just kill your budget. And we don't want that to happen, right? So that is the state of the market. There's a lot of freight that's stuck on the West Coast and on the ocean because the longshoremen, some of them contracted COVID-19, and the place is still not opened up fully yet. So there's a huge bottleneck preventing the flow of the supply chain. And you can see the result of that is that prices keep going up and there's no capacity, there's no chassis, and soon the supply of pallets, um, that is going to be another huge problem um, we're going to be facing very soon. So, quite a bit of reasons to look at any type of benefit you can get by leveraging multiple carriers and using technology um, as an economical addition to helping you um, to be competitive and stay up, keep your head above the water, so to speak. So let's look at how a 3PL helps shippers manage LTL. So you get to benefit from the capacity, right? When you use for a company like Global Trans that has proprietary technology and transportation management system, it allows you to leverage over 35,000 carriers. So you really get a eagle eye view of what is out there and the pricing and how it's going, and you can track your on time scheduling. You can instantaneously get your quotes in one place, and it saves time on having to call various carriers or email various carriers or fill out those requests for quote forms online. That could you eat up a lot of company time and full-time employee time, and it takes away from your specialty, which is creating and manufacturing um, or solving a problem that needs to be solved. So using a 3PL, especially with this type of proprietary uh, transportation management system, allows you to you know save tremendously on time. It also allows you to benefit from the carriers in the system being already vetted, and more often than not in this system you're going to be using, I'll say 99% of the time, well vetted, 99.9% of the time, well vetted carriers and drivers in the system. So you don't have to worry about insurance and or abandonment of freight and coverage for when your freight gets lost, or if there's a major accident on the highway and you need to replace your entire supply. Using a company like a 3PL like Global Trans allows you to pay for that and carry the insurance and just the peace of mind, knowing that you could ship very expensive material and equipment, and if something were to happen, you would be covered by that. There's a very limited availability of real estate right now as well, as far as you know the construction and warehousing. So that also adds to the constraints, and finding maybe a cross-decking company where they're consolidating freight, and if you just work directly with one trucking company, you may not be able to benefit from a nationwide connection, or the speed that is the speed of your freight getting from one side of the country to the next by using cross decking. Depending on the trucking company you go with directly, uh, they may not have drivers or multiple terminals. So using a 3PL, you could connect those supply chains and allow the blood to just flow through the vessels and get your freight from one side of the country to the next. Even using intermodal, which is train to trucks to last mile, or truck to train to last mile type of intermodal, or ocean to or barge to truck to train, what have you. I find that with some of my military clients, truck to train works very well, or ocean to truck to train, or vice versa works very well. So I'm able to offer a gambit of options as a 3PL company versus just you know whatever my asset base company may have to offer. So those are some very good benefits there that can help you and help you as the shipper to manage your less than truckload um, freight. And having a data driven plan in this time is very important. Um, it's the number one resource right now, data, and having a company that and the technology that affords you the ability to see where the backhaul is and take advantage of cheaper freight coming back with would that would be empty. you know you get to benefit from that. So I have this cool thing here where I can actually make some noise. So for cool stuff, I'm gonna make some noise, guys. Look, this is my first one, so if you're with me this long, I appreciate it. So let's make some noise for proprietary um, data and proprietary systems that allow you to connect supply chains and leverage. You get to leverage all of the carriers because of the technology, the proprietary technology, transportation management system technology that allows you to see um, what's out there for you. 35 to 55,000 truckload carriers. So, for instance, with Global Trans and the transportation management system that we have, shippers can access a long-standing relationship with 120 national regional LTL carriers. That is 50,000 truckload carriers that you have access to. I mean, that is a huge benefit. Plus, regional LTL network strength. So, you know, across all of the different regions of the United States. You can connect, like I was saying, you want to be able to connect your supply chains, cross deck, and benefit from cross decking so that, you're not constrained by the EDL. Um, and the drivers having to take that rest, which is very important. Instead, you can cross deck, and a different terminal could pick up that truck load and or LTL and get it where it needs to be on time for the right price and the right cost. So that is some major benefits of going with a 3PL. And I want to touch on a couple more. I'm going to touch on TMS technology and shipper of choice consulting, and actually three of them, managed supply chain solutions. So stick with me here with the TMS technology. So the Global Trans TMS enables shippers to access a broad network of LTL carriers, modes, and final mile delivery. So, having that type of capacity is very important, especially the last mile, getting to places that, big trucks may not be able to pull into. Sort of like the smaller vans that you see used by Amazon and those types of companies. And you could compare your options um, like within 30 seconds or so, based off of the zip code information on the origin and the weight and the class and dimensions. You can see all of the various carriers and um, whether or not they're guaranteed shipping, who's the highest cost, and who can cover the most on the insurance side of things. So, that to me is just in these times, if you're not using a transportation management system that can do that sort of instantaneous reporting or options on freight and the cost, well, you're truly not trying to save money. So, for all of my CFO folks, beacon counters in the back office, pay attention. Okay, pay attention to your spend because this is where you can truly save on shipping and uncover some of that ghost costing, right? Shipper of choice consulting. In today's capacity environment, shippers who provide a better experience for carriers and help create efficient operations can reap long term benefits in the form of higher service levels, fewer claims, and better rates. We help businesses become shippers of choice through planning further upstream to find consolidation opportunities, efficient dock operations, and flexible appointment and delivery windows. We also consult on packaging freight that makes it more appealing in a carrier's network. So, for instance, sometimes if you do it all yourself, you may not be able to create it properly and make it stackable. If you stack your freight and take advantage of the height of the freight, then depending on your dimension, you could save even more money on the density by the square footage that you utilize within the van, or going partial, or volume instead of a full truckload. So there's so many benefits, and you get to really utilize a whole heap of logistics skills and supply chain knowledge without having to necessarily pay for it. So that is definitely a win-win. And having a managed supply chain solution with a 3PL, that is another benefit to you. They really they really take it a step further. For instance, myself, whenever I'm dealing with my customers' shipments, I'm not afraid to make the phone call about to get more details, especially on military shipments, um, security clearances, that sort of thing, getting them squared away so that the shipments could make it onto the post without delays. When we speak about the warfighter, we have to make sure that um, we have the capacity for national security, and making sure that these guys are taken care of because they need the equipment on time, and some delays at the gate. Um, you don't want that to hold up some very important missions and that sort of thing. So getting the sort of managed supply chain solutions that you get from a 3PL, that is another huge benefit with going with a 3PL company. So take advantage of that. Let's get another noise for the 3PLs there. So, this is Ronaldo Valentine. I am an agent owner with Global Trans and supply chain consultant. As you see here today, we're talking about 3PL and the benefits mostly during uh, this time of constraint in the system, and just optimization and going into the future of what supply chain looks like. And you can contact me at r.valentine. So that's r.valentine at globaltrans.com. Let's talk about what you have going on and your needs as far as capacity. And let's get you a free demo and a free transportation management system that's going to allow you to just partner with Global Trans and benefit as much as you can, and have more increased stability in your transportation and logistics. Okay, that's all I have for you today. And as soon as I get some more great information to share on the benefits with 3PLs, I'm going to be right back on here talking to you about it. And let's do business. Let's partner. Okay. Peace.